All right, let's see if I can set this up so I can actually see the chat.
Barbecue pizza. The chat
And
will pop. No. There'll be a little chat pops up when you press start streaming.
you say that, but that did not actually happen. So,
Are you streaming?
I am streaming.
Pepperoni pizza, barbecue pizza, wings.
Well, uh, I thought we were getting a pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza, barbecue pizza,
As you can
wings.
tell, hello, Don. It's dinner time here, and somebody has one thing on his mind. I don't know if you can hear him. For that matter, I don't know if you can hear the doves that Iowa Park is famous for. All right, I'm seeing people in the chat, and it looks like this week is more successful than last week. Last week, I don't know what I did last week. I was trying to use my phone. I was at a gathering of people. I was definitely not home. And this week, I'm home. You can see behind me, home needs to be pressure washed. But for today, we're good. You'll also have to let me know how the audio and video quality are. I have the microphone sitting next to me, and you might also hear the dog because there are multiple dogs. All right, that's why our dog just was going crazy. I thought it was a squirrel. Happy Easter to you too, Ben. And hi, Dad. This is the new home. You can't see much of it right now, and I'm not inclined to pick my laptop up and truck it around. We'll probably do a video at some point. Right now, home is audio and video good. Excellent, thank you, Ben. Right now, home is kind of a mess because the boy has done yeoman's work this week, and all of the paneling is down and out of the house. It's kind of amazing. So,
Plus all the trim and baseboard.
yep, he's pulled all the trim and the baseboards, and a good bit of the carpet has been loosened up.
Oh, and a lot of the tack boards in half the rooms.
Yep, he says a lot of the tack boards in half the rooms. You want to come be part of this?
Sure, but I need your wallet so I can put. It doesn't take.
Oh, he needs my wallet. Yes.
can pay
See,
for it.
this is what I have to do. I have to pay guests to appear in my live cast,
So you can.
or at least buy him pizza.
Do you want to pay me back later?
No, just use. Hey, Julian. It was good to see you at Fool's Con. I am negotiating dinner pizza plans from the live stream here. After the live stream, in theory, we're going to go pick up a refrigerator because the person that I have contacted and tried to negotiate buying a used refrigerator from has not been answering my questions, which makes me a little like, we'll see. I mean, the idea is we're going to buy a cheap fridge, and because there's no refrigerator here, the kid's been living out of a cooler. Although we now have a freezer here because we picked up the freezer at the storage unit today and trucked it over here along with a mattress. So,
What's the zip code on this?
zip code on that is 7. It's the
Louisville?
yes, and I figure there's things I probably shouldn't put out on the live stream. But anyhow, Julian says ham, pineapple, and extra cheese.
Is that what you want?
No, dude, it's not because Sanford won't eat it. Sanford likes pineapple raw. He loves pineapple raw. He will not eat cooked pineapple. Hey, Ben. Oh, that's fantastic news. I'm looking forward to seeing you at FenCon. I've got to buy some tickets for FenCon. I have tables set for FenCon, so we'll have dealer badges. We'll be there. I need to buy some extras because we're gonna have. Well, there'll be at least 3 of us. And yeah, no, it's been good. Monday we closed on the house. Sanford and the boy came up with the cat, and they did all the signing and the paperwork. Texas is funny. You got to be here in person to do a closing. We can't do electronic signings. So Sanford got my power of attorney and signed for all of me. And, excellent news, Tom. That is really good news. I'm sorry you guys had to deal with that. That really sucks. Johan, that bottom drawer is going to fall off. Watch it. So, yeah, Monday I closed on the house, and I came up after work and brought the dog up. So the boy has been up here all week working with the dog and the cat. Sanford was up. He had an appointment on Thursday. So,
We just got lunch.
yep, they got lunch when Sanford was here, and Sanford brought up a carload of stuff. We've been every time we come up between the apartment to the house, we bring a carload of stuff up. The idea is that way we'll move all the boxes. I mean, 90% of the books are out of the apartment already, and which sounds really good, except for the fact that no more than half my books were in the apartment to begin with. The rest of them are all in storage and have been for a year. But Don, that's excellent news. I'm glad you were able to arrange all that. And that was a pretty sneaky plan that you outlined to me, too. It was good work. Here we are in the process of adjusting plans. And so Johan's first task was to pull all of the paneling off, and he was going to then prep the walls so that we could get, I don't know what he's doing over there. If I'm distracted, it's because he's trying to climb something, and I'm like, I don't know why. So the idea was we were going to get the walls, do a little spackle and sanding, and then paint. Well, the best laid plans. But I got clever. I have a plan to deal with the fact that this house was built in 1950. We are the second owners. And, no, we're the second owners.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely sure.
They did a weird renovation for renovating their own house.
Yeah, they did do a weird renovation for renovating their stuff in their own house. So we're the second owners, and it was remodeled in probably 1980 because we've got the thin wood paneling that was super dark, and I wanted that off the walls. And we knew that behind the walls we had drywall. It's not plaster and lath, thank goodness, Ben, because I have dealt with that in the past. So, no, there's no turnips involved in this plan, Julia, and that would be the plan that creates really good beef stew or borscht. So as he's pulling stuff off the walls, he's been posting pictures. He set up a Discord server, and he's been doing before and after pictures from every room that he's pulled apart. He's just bringing me a piece of the paneling. So this is the stuff. This is what he's been pulling off the walls. And you can see
design in some of the rooms. But
yeah, it's different in some of the rooms. I mean, it is plywood, really thin plywood. It'll make fantastic kindling when we're to the point. Yeah, it could be late 70s too. And I mean, there's carpet down in the main parts of the house. So as he's pulling up lath and plaster from 1905, that would be what I'd expect. And that stuff is a bear to work with. I was glad that we didn't have lath and plaster here. Drywall I can handle. But one of the things that they had done with this house is when it was built, all the windows in it were custom jobs, and they went not quite floor to ceiling, but very long, narrow windows, and there were a lot of them. So far we have found, and I think we're done with finding windows, hopefully, but there were 4 hidden windows. 5 hidden windows.
The 5th one wasn't hidden, they just turned into a bookcase.
Oh, right. So 4 hidden windows and 1 window that had been turned into a really shallow built-in bookcase in the boys' room. But we knew almost from the beginning that there was at least 1 hidden window. What we didn't expect was to find 4 of them.
And they're all in a line.
So
like, you could look from one side of the house straight through the other.
Yep, starting from the west side of the house all the way through to the east side of the house. So we're 4 windows because of where the inset is for the front porch. So there's a window on each side of the dining room that it's been covered over, and a window on each side of what's now the boys' bedroom that's been covered over. And we have no intention of putting windows back into those. For one thing, the west side of the house looks right onto the neighbor's house. And for another thing, with the kid's bedroom, he's got 2 windows in there already. 4 would just be exhibitionist. So those window frames are flush with the drywall. So we were trying to figure out how to deal with them, if we needed to try and saw them out or chisel. And the other thing that we learned was that when the double pane windows were installed, probably about the same time as the paneling, they put in smaller windows than what had been there before. So now we have weird drywall patches underneath every window in the house, and there are a lot of windows in this house, which is one of the things I like about it.
Instead of drywall tape, they use duct tape.
In at least one of the rooms.
No. Several rooms.
In several of the rooms, I'm being told by the handyman who's been doing it, they use duct tape to hold up the drywall that they added in under these windows. And then they put paneling up over that. So my clever idea, because I don't want to replace all the drywall, my clever idea is to put up wainscoting. So we can get thin sheet beadboard, which is a fancier version of the paneling we just pulled down. I do realize that. But if we get that and do a very nice, simple chair rail, I'm not going to get fancy. This is an old farmhouse. I'm going to make it look like an old farmhouse. So we'll go with just some really nice flat 1x4s or 1x6s to frame in. The dog has found a bug and is chasing the bug. Under the paneling. So beadboard, chair rail, nice baseboard, and then the walls above the wainscoting will be painted. Most of the wainscoting, I'm going to buy the white stuff and it'll stay white, although it'll get painted to hide any nail holes and whatnot. But yeah, and that'll actually look really nice, because the rooms where it needs to be done are both the bedrooms and the dining room and the den. Now the den we're going to be doing something a little bit different with too. One of the walls in there is going to have to be remediated. There was a leak in the roof, and we're going to have to possibly replace a sheet of drywall because there was some mold. We're going to have to take a look at it and see just how infiltrated it is. But in my quick look after I got here, it looks like we're going to have to take out a sheet of drywall and replace that. That won't be too difficult to replace a full sheet. So, yep. All right.
Why are we heading out?
Pizza?
So the boys are going to go get the pizza now. Mom, that paneling is too thin to cut the shallow grooves in, and the beadboard that I'm looking at looks really nice. So it's going to be pretty easy to do. And having a chair rail is not a bad thing in the dining room. So, because that's where we're likely. That's why a chair rail is a thing, is because people bop it with their chair and put a hole in the wall. Or a dent anyway. But yeah, so wainscoting and some pretty colors above the white wainscoting, and it's going to look really nice, I think. Now, to cover up those hidden windows that we were talking about, I'm actually going to build floor-to-ceiling, and you're going to have a noise here in a minute, because that's my car, which is parked like 10 feet away, so... Neither of them thought through the fact that they have to open the gate in order to go to get out there. I'll be back in a second. that's a really handy feature. Oof. No, I did not leave the gate open. I closed the gate because the dog is around here somewhere and I don't know where she's at, so the gate's closed. It's a really handy feature to have a gated backyard like that because we've got this huge concrete pad, and we can just let the dog run in and out of the house as she wants to. We're going to put in doggy doors for her with the electronic controls so we don't get raccoons in the house because I don't want that. So there's a lot that's going to have to be done, but for all that the walls are, as somebody said up in the chat earlier, the walls are merit. They are, yeah, I'm not happy. We're going to have to do a lot of work on the walls to make them look pretty. And they're still probably going to look like a home job because I am not a professional and the kid is definitely not a professional. And the kid is doing most of the work. And he's doing it by himself without adults to consult. So he's been doing pretty good, actually. I'm pleased with that. But the floors are fabulous. Ah, there's the dog. The floors we think are not going to take much at all. They're certainly not going to need a full refinishing based on what we've seen so far. Haven't peeled up the carpet in the living room altogether, but it looks to me like they took care of them. And this is something that I've got to figure out because Sanford doesn't want to do polyurethane on the floors. He wants to do just oiled wood for the floors, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do with hardwood flooring. When we lived up in New Hampshire with the old farmhouse, we had the wide pine boards, and that's what I was used to, and that stuff's really soft. I mean, that house was 150 odd years old, and it was pretty worn, and it had been painted many, many times. So that was a whole different thing for me. Now this is beautiful. So once a month upkeep for the oil, Dawn. That's good to know, and something that I will have to, something I'll have to think about, because I know that we probably won't be having people take off their shoes to come in the house, because we've got people that getting shoes on and off it's not easy for them. So oh, the dog will mar the finish. Okay, good to know. Well, I know there's some water-based polyurethanes, Dawn, and that's kind of what I was looking at, but I'll look at acrylic as well. We'll have to figure it out, but that's a ways down the road. Right now the plan is to get all the little nails and stuff out of the walls, because we're going to need to mud and sand and all that, and then yes, thin coats of drywall mud. It's going to be a thing. We're going to be mudding and taping because it's an old Texas house, and Julian, you and other people are who I was thinking of. It's difficult to get shoes on and off quickly, and even Sanford has a bit of a problem with shoes on and off. He wears slippers almost all the time because of that. But so I'll definitely look into the acrylic, Tom. Thank you. And that's kind of what I was going to ask about tonight, and then at the writers' dinner tomorrow is what do y'all know how to do, because I am learning as I go with that one. But the plan of attack here is get the walls good, and nope, the carpets are staying down. The carpets are in place. And we're going to work on the walls and ceilings. It's an old Texas house. There has been settling. There are cracks. So all of that's got to get mudded and taped and sanded and ready to paint. And we are going to be using a lot of kills because we did find the mold in the one place. Now, I am 98% sure that mold is from before they put the new roof on 5 years ago, because it is dry, it is crispy, it is not a fresh thing at all, but it's definitely a thing, and I want to make sure that we cover any that's still left after we pull that sheet out. That if there's any mold left, that we've killed it and it's trapped. So now the carpets are staying down, walls and ceilings first. Then we will pull carpets and refinish the floors as much as we're going to refinish, which is going to be a very light refinish. We'll hire a machine and do the light sanding, the scuff sanding, and then do whatever finish we're going to put on it, and then we will put in the wainscoting, and that'll be the last step. So that's the plan of attack, is to get all that done in the next maybe 3 weeks. The kids staying up here. I'm still going to be working from home, although Monday I'm actually going to be up here because we need to get the vehicles registered up here. And right now all the vehicles are in my name because when we got them, I was the one with the spare time, so I could go deal with things like vehicle registration. Well, now it's Sanford, so we have to retitle the vehicles to be in both of our names. Insulation and additional wiring, no, but that is usually a good thing to worry about because, and I have attracted a fly, this house actually has a really decent wiring already, and as you can probably tell from the stream, I'm sitting just outside the room with the Wi-Fi in it, but we have good Wi-Fi all over the property because we had fiber put in. So the house is insulated, and the house is actually well insulated, so I am very pleased with that. When they did the last upgrades to this place, they did a decent job with it. There are a lot of thoughtful little touches, but they also, it's not artisan workmanship, but it's very workmanlike, even though they did some weird crap, but I kind of get why. I mean, they were just going to cover that up with the paneling, so they didn't do all of the mudding and taping and repairing that they should have done had they been going to keep the walls painted the way they had been. That's a good thought, Mom, but I think we're stuck with that because I don't really want to yank all the walls. The goal was to not gut this place down to the studs. And we aren't going to need to. It just required a little creativity with the walls, the situation there. Yes, and Dawn had mentioned clicky nails. That's the girl. She's making faces at me. She wants me to let her inside because it's cool inside and it's warm outside. I'm coming. I'm coming. There you go. The boy has a water dish out here for her, but it's cool inside and she can go lay on the linoleum in the kitchen. Which is the other thing. We're not going to touch the kitchen yet. We'll have to touch it and touch it hard at some point in the future because yeah, that's a good idea too, Farm Girl. And probably something we're going to do. The living and dining area in here are going to be interesting to lay out because of the way they're shaped. So we're gonna have to punt on that. We don't own a sofa right now or a couch, so I'm gonna probably buy one that will fit the space, and that'll be interesting. There was a beautiful one, little sofa at the antique mall down there in the Metro Mess, and I seriously thought about that, but the husband wisely pointed out that even though he likes it, it's comfortable for him. I think it's gorgeous. The cat will claw it, and we really don't want to spend a few $100s on a piece of furniture the cat's going to shred. So, okay, this time they got out and opened the gate themselves. The boy is driving. He has been doing all the driving he's allowed to do. So this is a good thing. I mean, he wants to be in a position to get his license, which means having to having to afford part of his insurance, because we're not going to spring for all of his insurance. Don, that's a good idea. That's kind of what I was thinking about too. We'd like to have the ability to host guests, but and we have a bed that'll be was our guest room bed. It's what we've been sleeping on for the last year, um, and we are looking forward to going back to our queen size bed. Let me tell you, um, but give me a bit. Um, but we'd like to be able to have guests here, and having a pull-out couch. Yeah, I'm almost certainly not going to be buying anything new. I very rarely buy new furniture, so
I'm making new furniture.
my son is planning to make new furniture, but I don't think he's going to make me a couch. He's not going to be up for that challenge right off the bat. Yeah, Stephen, that is definitely we're not going to do that. Cups, my love, cups.
Cups, plates.
He's got the pizza set up on the other side of the laptop. And yes, there are flies. You guys might want to take the pizza inside or keep it closed. The flies found me. I'm sweaty because I've been chunking around stuff here. There are flies, Johan, so don't leave things sitting open.
Okay.
So,
You get your first dibs.
Don, he is just at the I want to do this. He hasn't actually done any of it yet. Baby steps. Little baby steps. Hi, Koala. It's nice to see you. Yeah, we're excited here. I mean, the walls were. It was almost a relief because buying this house, we knew coming into it that it had some minor issues. We had a very thorough inspection done of the house, so we have a punch list of some stuff that needs to be done, but none of it was urgent. Honestly, we could have moved into this house on Monday. If I had been willing to either paint the paneling, which did cross my mind, or just leave it as it was. It was perfectly livable. And right at the moment, it's a hot mess, but I think give us a couple of weeks and it'll be really nice. This house it's got great bones, and I'm very, very happy that we bought it. It was relatively inexpensive to us, although the people that live here in town were remarking on how much prices have gone up, but I'm like, it was really affordable for us, so Don, you have a point there about learning more with big steps. One of the things we're going to have to do with him is kind of sit on him a little. He's got this big shop out here, and he wants all the tools, and we're like, that's a lot of money, dude. So
all my paychecks going straight to tools, working part-time,
yeah,
4 days a week.
he's talking about buying lots and lots of tools, but he's also been talking about going into the military. So you okay, bud?
Yeah, when I'm
All
like
right.
20. I have 4 years of my life I can spend with these wonderful tools.
I thought you were moving out when you were 18.
I said I might. You said you're fine with me staying for a bit. I'd like to know if you're going back on that, because that changes some stuff.
Yeah, no, estate sales are actually the best way for him to get tools to start with. And we have friends that do estate sales on the regular. So what we'll probably do is have them give us a heads up anytime there's good tools. That's good. Ice is good.
Water.
I think it's like 90 here today. For those of you that are unfortunately in colder climates. Spring is pleasant in Texas. Well, this spring is pleasant in Texas. Last spring, it was wet. It was so wet. I I've been handed food. I'm not going to eat food just yet, although I am going to put it up so that the dog
Don't eat it, I will.
oh, Sanford says he'll take it. I can serve it myself later. I don't think you want the French fries. The child has ordered himself, hi Juniper. The child ordered himself pizza and wings and French fries. He's earned it. He's been working for it.
Here's the sauce for the breadsticks.
Oh, thanks, kid.
I can store that.
But it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be good. And I think by the time we're ready to actually move in, it'll be really nice. I've been bringing the small boxes here because there's a 2-car garage they can get stored in and a big storage area attached to the big shed. So we've got plenty of space to stash stuff. The furniture can stay in the apartment because we have the apartment through mid-June. And when we're ready to bring it up here, we'll hire a couple of guys and a moving truck, have them load it, drive it up here, and then we've got a couple of guys that we know up here already. We've hired them before to unload a moving truck, so we'll have them come and unload the moving truck. And we may actually do a double whammy with them because we may have them unload the moving truck, take the moving truck over to our storage container, which is about 5 miles away, load it and unload it for us. So that might be an all-day affair. We'll have to pay them more than we did last time, but I don't have a problem with it. A guy my age and his kid who's my kid's age, so they made a pretty good team when we hired them before. So it's going to be a saga. But I'm trying to keep it running smoothly. And like I started to say before, I was almost happy that the walls were a problem because this house was doing so well. I knew that there was going to be something wrong, and I would just as soon find out what that was off the bat and know how to deal with it than be creeping along and all of a sudden something major drops. And that could still happen, but so far everything seems to be in working order. The furnace works. The AC definitely works. The house is nice and cool. We have contacts with a handyman here in town. The benefit of moving to some place where we know people is that they know people and we can make connections. So that's going to be good if we run into stuff that we don't want to deal with. The sound of one shoe dropping is usually something expensive breaking, Ben. If you hear the dog panting, which I'm not sure if you picked that up or not, she is sitting over here eagerly begging for treats. She has been separated from her master for far too long, and I think she's hoping for some pizza crust. She'll probably get it too. Ooh, Scotland, yes. Cold and damp. I'm so sorry, Alan. Yeah, the nice thing about Texas is that we have winter because we were in central Texas, north central Texas. Now we're in North Texas. And there is winter, but for us, it's more like prolonged autumn. And it's kind of nice, to be honest. I mean, we did get some snow this last year. Year before last was really bad, which is why I wanted a fireplace. And I was very disappointed with this place when the inspector pointed out that not only is the gas fireplace in this house, not actually hooked up to the gas. There's a gas stub, but it's never been hooked up. But it's also not vented, so you couldn't hook it up. It wouldn't be safe. So we're talking about whether or not we want to pick up some kind of ventless fire log thing to put in there, or just rip the whole thing out. Because honestly, if it's just going to be decorative, then I have better things to do with that space. And art and bookshelves. I mean, I could put more bookshelves there, or that could be where the couch goes. So if we can't hook it up at all, we'll take it out because there's no point. In running a vent, because it's in the center of the house, it's going to have to punch all the way up through the ceiling in the living room and the roof, and I don't know how much that would cost, so we're going to have to okay, that's one of the things we're going to have to find out. We'll have somebody in that is qualified to do that and give us a quote, and at that point we can decide if it's worth it or if we want to do something else there instead. So I'm planning built-in bookshelves, and I know the cost of lumber right now is outrageous, and I have a bunch of bookshelves, portable ones, but I want built-ins. Well, first of all, there's at least one wall where I'm going to put a built-in because it's either that or replace the drywall. And if I'm going to spend money, I might as well buy the lumber and build a bookshelf. Yeah, the flue itself is going to be the expensive part. So we're going to have to figure that out. I mean, we have the gas logs, and I don't know if where the gas logs are, if that is even functional, or if we'd have to replace the whole mantle and insert. Honestly, I don't understand why they did that if they weren't going to make it fully operational. So, mysteries. There are mysteries. One of the cool things that the boy has found while he was pulling paneling, and Mom, yes, but barn boards from Kentucky to here? How? That is a long trip for barn boards, and I don't think the cost of lumber's quite that high, although it would be a good excuse to go see you. Yeah, Don, that's probably what it is. One of these days we'll get that done. Mom, the wood barn, I can totally see why it would need to come down. Actually, I can't get to the wood, but you should probably figure out if you can get a hold of some of the salvagers, because there are people that will pay good money for barn board because of the farmhouse look that's all the rage right now. They're actually having trouble in Kentucky. Saw some articles that there were people actually coming in and stealing barn boards and other things. So, farm girl, tempting. I do want to come visit you too. I owe a bunch of people visits. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen, but we'll try. Might wait for the price of gas to come down though, especially if I'm going to be driving the truck and getting loads of wood. Putting the house where the barn is would be a good place for that, Mom, and that would have a great view out over the valley there. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me to hear that, RK, because when we first moved into the house there in New Hampshire, there was a bunch of old barn boards, and Mom and I built bookshelves, and they were beautiful, the old silver barn board bookshelves. Donna, I might just take you up on that. But it's one of those things. Oh my gosh, Ben. Yes. Barnboard wainscoting. Oh my gosh, yes. No, it's not going to happen because I need to get the wainscoting done here now. But, yeah. That and this house isn't really a farmhouse. I think what the aesthetic that we're going to wind up with here is more cottage than anything else. It's a modest little one-story house. It's almost square, and it has a nice little inset front porch that's shaded with these beautiful vines. I will have to take pictures because they are in full bloom right now. And when they're done blooming, I have to cut them back because they're infiltrating the soffits. So I need to prune the heck out of them. They probably haven't been maintained in several years. But there's the attached garage and the utility room in between the garage and the house. So there's a fair amount of space. It's just it's just that when we are looking at it and we've got 2 bedrooms, the room I'm going to use as an office could be made into a 3rd bedroom. And as a matter of fact, I will be covering up, there's a big archway between it and the kitchen. I will be covering that up. Crossvine is okay. That's good to know. I will have to take a look at it. We don't have a big section of it, but I will have to evaluate that. It's very pretty, and it is a Texas native, which I was happy with because a lot of the honeysuckles are invasive. So yeah, darn. I will have to evaluate whether we want to keep it or not. I like having the vine there. It makes really good shade for the porch to be able to sit out there and be comfortable. Where I'm sitting right now is actually, there's an alcove that's been roofed over between the house and the barn, and the house and the garage. And it's a nice spot where it's just about big enough for 2 chairs and a little table. So we can have a sitting spot out here when it's shady here, and a sitting spot out in the front of the house. And then of course there's the big structure off the side of the shop that we're going to turn into an outside living room with a complete outside kitchen. And so that's going to be a fun thing to set up, but that's probably not this year. That's probably a next year before that's fully armed and operational. But I am finally, after all these years, going to have a summer kitchen. And I am so looking forward to that. Sanford is over here, but he's being very quiet, so.
And I used all the figures.
This is exciting and tiring, and like I said, the kid's doing most of the work. I've just been packing and toting from the apartment to the house, and I'm kind of proud of him for tackling a project of this size. Hopefully he doesn't run out of steam before we get it finished, but let's see here. I've got this weekend, I'll be here and working, and next weekend I'll be here and working. The weekend after that, Sanford and I will be at TulCon. So if any of you all are in shouting distance of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the last weekend in April, we will be at TulCon along with, I think, most of the North Texas troublemakers. And then that's it for me for cons until FinCon in September. I have had 3 cons in 5 weeks, which was a crazy schedule, but that's the way these things happen. And we're hoping to be... excellent, RK. It'll be good to see you again. You and I need to conspire about ghost cat stories. We are hoping to be moved in here by the end of May, fully. So we've got about 6 weeks to get all the renovations done. I know the boy would like to have them done in about 3 weeks. I'm not sure that's realistic, but we will see what we see as time goes on. With everything that needs to be done, even after the renovations are done, we've still got a couple of other things that need to get fixed up and ready. Have the handyman in to take look at the couple of the things that are on the I can't think or speak, that are on the inspector's punch list for us. So that'll be a thing. And of course, all of this is going on. Yes, Ben Yallow, and he is a character. He is a wonderful gentleman. I don't know if he'll be at TulCon, but he will definitely be at FinCon because he lives about 20 minutes down the road from FinCon. He just recently moved out of New York City to Texas, which, bless him, that's gotta be, he's happy. We had a conversation about the house that he's living in right now, and he was telling me he has 35 or 36 bookshelves, and that was after a severe pruning of his personal collection in order to move. but he had, I think, almost a semi-load of books that got moved from New York to Texas. But the man is a treasure house of science fiction history. It's always a delight to talk to him. Um, yeah, Mom, that's my thing with projects is I'm budgeting and lots of time. The boy is like, I'm running behind, and I'm like, dude, you're right on what I was thinking you were going to be doing, so don't worry about it so much.
And we gotta buy everything
Julian,
now.
I cannot do LibertyCon this year. I did not manage to buy a ticket. I couldn't commit in the 15 minutes that LibertyCon tickets were on sale. Maybe LibertyCon next year. Although, honestly, after the nasty flight and TSA escapades between Fantasy and home this last time, I'm kind of done with flying for a while. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel in September when the tickets go on sale. Mom, I know you told me about that, and I'm like, I love my uncle. He's my favorite uncle, but 2 tons of rocks is, yeah. Now, if there's a squeaking, then the dog has just walked out here with her squeaky toy. So, I don't know if she's going to squeak it or if she's just going to lay down with it. Just going to lay down with it. She needs her toy. It's a comfort thing for the beasts.
She's hoping I'll come over and pick it up and throw it for her.
I don't think you're up to throwing the ball for her. And I get off the when I get off the live stream with y'all, I've got to find out if I'm going to be going to pick up a refrigerator tonight. We have the cap off the truck, so we're ready to go. But yeah, this lady has not sent me a message back, so I am going to say that she is not interested in actually selling this refrigerator. Actually, what I think she is not interested is answering my question about is it plugged in and running so if I can see if it still gets cold. Because it costs money to get rid of an old refrigerator. So the easy way to get rid of an old refrigerator is to put it up on Facebook Marketplace cheap and hope some poor schmuck comes and grabs it before they realize that it doesn't work. And I am not doing that. I will go to the used something or other and pay a couple $100 before I will buy someone's random fridge if I can't feel if it's cold. So that may happen tomorrow. The dog is 11, RK, and we estimated a few years back that she probably would live around 12 years. It'd be about the right lifespan. She's technically a large breed. She's short. You got to meet her. But she is dense. She is about 50 to 55 pounds usually. And when she gets really enthusiastic and is flinging herself around, then you can definitely tell how dense she is. She's all muscle. But we don't know how much longer we've got her. It was rough on her to make this last move. Even though it was just 2 hours, she was hurting when we got her up here to the house after the closing. And this is why she traveled with me rather than with the guys. So, yeah, we know 50 pounds is a cutoff. Since she usually runs around 55, she's technically large. But, yeah, she was hobbling when we got her up here on Monday. And she has meds from the vet because she's gone down pretty hard with her back. She throws her back out. Like owner, like dog. So we have meds from the vet to muscle relaxants and anti-inflammatories, and we gave those to her. And she's up and she's moving, but she's definitely not as fast as she was as a pup. And she's been appreciating the warm concrete. I'm looking at her. She's flopped over and is doing the rug imitation of a flat dog here. It may start to get a little dim. It's not sunset yet, but I'm sitting in a shaded corner, so Yeah, I've known some good, really good big dogs, and Bernie's mountain dog to 16 is definitely a grand old age. Um, and Don, I think your 75 pound is not done growing, if I recall correctly. Yep, I was right. I see that comment. The plan is to not take on any more pets when we do finally lose this one. Um, it will be. I already contacted that lady, and that one's already sold. So he's looking for other refrigerators. Showed me a picture, and I'm like, that one's already gone. Alan, it was good to see you. Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate the fact that y'all come and chat with me, because it saves me from feeling like I'm talking to myself for an hour. And my plan is ultimately to be able to have guests. I want to do probably StreamYard and be able to have guests come in remotely. And I mean, honestly, that's part of the point of that's part of the point of this house, is to be able to entertain and be able to have people come, and we'll feed them dinner and just sit and relax out here. I mean, it is pleasant this evening. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do about the flies, but that's probably just a thing that we'll have to deal with. We may wind up putting screening up on the outside living area. Yeah, especially if I have a kitchen out here. We'll screen in part, if not all, of the outside area. I was hesitant about putting walls on it because I want to be able to Ben, reach out to Carl Gallagher or Todd Caldwell about FinCon. Neither of them are the con runners, but they are on the con committee, and they'll be able to put you in touch with someone that can help there. And I don't know if you're on Facebook. Both of them are on Facebook. Ping me and I'll put you in touch with them. I've got emails. Good to know, Julian. Thank you. Yeah, we used to have a bug zapper, and I think it's about time to get another bug zapper now that I'm sitting here. Also, bug zappers are great entertainment, and crunchy crispies for the dog when they fall to the ground underneath. Yes, I am that country. Oh, it's gonna be good. I'm happy. I'm so happy. And once we get Sanford a chair that doesn't hurt him, so he can sit out here and relax, because right now we're in these folding camp chairs, which are not the best. But tomorrow we're picking up a couple of nice outside chairs, and it'll be good. Get a lot of work done on the house. Maybe get a refrigerator. Maybe not. Oh no. Oh, poor Bert. Oh, yes. Bug zappers can't handle anything Bert's size. Bert pulled over a bug zapper on himself, so now he's convinced they attack. But we had... I'm trying to think, maybe it was Dad that gave them to us. The electric fly swatters that when you swat something with them, they zap the bug. I will tell you, they do not work on carpenter bees. Carpenter bees are too large to do that with them. It just kind of...
But they sail like a tennis ball.
Yeah, they do sail like a tennis ball. It is like ping pong with those things. I don't know if we have carpenter bees here.
Haven't seen any.
I know, I haven't seen any either, but that doesn't mean anything. We haven't spent enough time here yet. We've definitely got squirrels. I'm watching one run along the electrical line up there. And and I'm sure you all heard Law Dog's stories about the squirrels at his place, so we're not that far from where his domicile is.
And flies.
Yeah, we've got flies. We were just talking about the flies. Julian recommends fly traps. So... fly traps, bug zapper, we'll get it covered. We're going to be learning a lot of things as time goes by that we need. Some of those are going to have to go on the we'll budget for it list. But we'll get there in time.
Needs at least 2 bug zappers. 3.
The boy just came out with his cat. Yeah, we might have to borrow Task Force Chewini because I don't think the elder dog, who is currently flat, is really interested in squirrels that much, and I know the cat isn't. The cat isn't even interested in being outside. The boy just put her down on the top step, and she is surveying all with deep suspicion. Deep, deep suspicion. I am not sure that having her outside for very long is a good idea.
We're just introducing it to it.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate that. Flypaper tapes, yeah, and we'll probably have to have flypaper tapes in the garage and the utility room because, especially as much as we've got the door open right now or we're working in there. The dog sat up and she's over here trying to catch flies in midair. The dogs thing are, and the boy has fly ribbon already. Don't put it here, put it in the utility room because we're going to need it. Salt rifles, that I have looked at the salt rifles. They're not cheap, but they would be a really fun toy for Sanford. We looked at the salt rifles because of the carpenter bees. In Ohio, they look like gigantic bumblebees. And only their abdomens are shiny black because the fur rubs off of them because they tunnel into wood, which is hence the name carpenter bees. And they are quite destructive in their tunneling. And they won't tunnel through painted wood, but the people that had built the deck on the house in Ohio had painted the top of it, but they hadn't bothered to paint the bottom before they installed the boards, which is practice if you don't want to have carpenter bees drilling up into the underneath of your deck. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to use salt guns inside. That would be a big mess. But
My tape deployed.
thanks, kid.
Sanford?
Good to know, Richard. I haven't made my reservations yet. I was waiting until after the house closing was done because there was a point there when I'm like, I don't know how much we're spending, so I'm not spending anything that I don't have to. But we're past that hurdle and on the other side. So, oh, and it's too funny. So I joggled the mortgage lady's elbow badly by switching jobs in the middle of the whole house process. So I actually got a message after the closing asking for my pay stub for my new job because the first one hadn't come in before the closing. So even though this paperwork is signed, sealed, and delivered, they still wanted to make sure that I was on the up and up as far as the job goes. So, but that was sent today, and yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the room block. It's possible if there's enough of us still booking Richard, we might actually get the room block extended. Oh, the dog has caught a fly. She's snuffling hard at it. It's laying on the nope, now it's walking. The wings are damaged, so now it's no longer a fly, it's a walk. And now it is no more because she ate it. She likes jalapeno sky raisins. And it's the funniest thing to watch her stalk and try not to get stung when she's getting a wasp. Because she'll do really fast, sharp little clomp, clomp, clomp. So she's like biting it, letting it go fast enough she doesn't get stung. And eventually she'll actually eat it. But I don't know how, because I have seen wasps that were very thoroughly dead still have the sting reflex. Because insects. Oh, that's for me. Okay, the kid's telling me it's time to wrap up the live stream because he just brought me a plate full of food. So, and it's about that time. What was ice?
Bug.
It's only a little bug. It only drinks a little bit. Yeah, no kittens either. We have a cat and a dog. The inn is full. My dad offered me a kitten. I don't know if Dad's still on the feed, but no kitten, Dad. I'm not driving 20 hours there and then 20 hours back to adopt a kitten.
We're getting a kitten?
No, we are not getting a kitten.
Can we get a kitten?
No, we
No.
cannot get a kitten.
What if I pay for the flight?
No.
No.
I'll take the cat.
No. All right, folks. I am going to wrap up here, and no, there will be no kittens.
I just won't tell you until the kitten arrives.
Oh, the other thing we still have to do is give this house a name.
If another
The
cat
last
arrives,
house.
it will wind up at the shelter. And I'm not going to be looking for a no-kill shelter.
The
That's just cool.
well, we're hoping for a porch cat because there's probably strays around here. So, porch cat we can deal with. Anyhow. Yeah, no, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. I have no brain.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. I'll see you next week. Same time. Oh, right. The house needs a name. We're still trying to come up with a name for it. The last house was the Nut House, and so that we called the apartment the Acorn Hut. And Mom, we still have the sign with the squirrel that says "Welcome to the Nut House." As a matter of fact, it's in the back of the truck. But we will be thinking about what this place needs to be called. Might be the Dove Cote, as many doves as I'm hearing. That would drive Jim crazy. I think I won't. Talk to you all later. Bye.